Hey everybody, Joe Vizio here. It's taking a little bit of a break from doing some videos lately. I think at this point, on this day, it's probably been about 2 weeks since I've last published a video. And there's no telling how long I'm going to have this one sitting before I publish it. So, yeah, I've had a lot of things going on lately. Been real busy with work. Been sick. I mean, I had that whole flu thing just come and just kind of sit right on my head. And then my wife got it, and now her parents are just getting over it, and you know, we all kind of work together, so we have to cover for each other. So you know, it's been kind of busy there. It goes hand in hand. And you know, also the business is still growing, which, you know, it's a good thing. And you know, when I talk about that kind of stuff on here, I'm not talking about it to prompt praise or anything like that, although I always do enjoy the encouragement. I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. It's kind of a progress report check-in. This is where, you know, I can go back and watch this video a month from now, 2 months from now, and can compare it with other videos and just see what kind of progress I'm making in, you know, my recovery, my personal life, everything. I think it's important for us to do things like this because, you know, we are people that really need to see results from what we're doing. From what we've been through and all, we need to see results before, you know, that depression kind of sets in on us, and, you know, we think that we're just failing. And so that's why I do that a lot on here, and I talk about that. It's, you know, you gotta look at the positives. You gotta look at and see where you're growing and what you're doing right. And, you know, and then if you want to talk about the bad things and try and get that out, then, you know, that's good too. So, yeah, I was saying, it was a couple videos ago about how I did lose a couple accounts, but, you know, I'd end up picking up a couple more, and, you know, which I did pick up a couple more small accounts that I've made up for the money with the loss of that account. But you know, I also got a deal going, and it is going to go through. I got a deal going with another car dealership, and this one is twice as big as any others that I do. And, you know, with this one here, this would officially put my business in the category of pulling in a six-figure. I'm not making that. That's what my business is generating, which is a milestone. It is a milestone. So that's the only reason why I kind of want to mention that on here is, you know, it's kind of a big one. I'm kind of proud of that. So, you know, onward and upward. Got another deal in the works, and, you know, I'm not so sure that this one is going to go through, but, you know, this one would involve traveling with a chain of facilities that are being built. You know, they need a company to be able to handle construction cleanup nationwide. And, me and a friend of mine are going into this as partners. And our name is not only in the hat, but from what I understand, we are kind of the front runners on this. So, if that happens, that's, the sky's the limit. And, it's going to be up to me whether I sink or swim with it. And, I'm tired of sinking. So, onward and upward. Who said that? Was that Buzz Lightyear or one of these characters? I don't know. Just sounds good. Used to listen to this show on MTV. Who the hell was Ricky Ratman? Used to tell him keep one fist in the air and one foot in the gutter. So, those are the things that kind of been, keeping me on my toes. So I haven't really been making a lot of videos. I haven't really been responding much. I know I've been listening to some videos and kind of leaving some comments here and there. But, it's been crazy the past couple weeks. So, I appreciate everybody, the content that you're putting out. And, it's just going to, mention a few here, with, Michelle breaking the chain. And, I've been enjoying your rants, no matter how peaceful they sound. It's good for you to get that out. It's good that you recognize what your problem is. And you know what? Stand your ground. We got your back. Belle Michelle, I've been seeing her in my comments lately. And let me tell you, it's really good to see you up and around. And, it's... I hope everything's working out for you. And, checking out, I seen Gatekeeper's Heart in there. I don't think Gatekeeper's Heart's been making very many videos. I haven't seen anything from you in a while. I hope you're doing okay. And, everybody else, and, Honey Badger, I kind of love that style, man. It's just that female version to take no shit, and I love it, man, because these people have walked on us long enough. So I agree with you, man. Fuck them narco pigs. And it's always good to kind of keep up with Ali and everybody else out there. Is just I appreciate what you do. Sue's Journey made a video that I listened to today, and she was talking about the whole concept of the narcissist hating themselves. And, she she disagreed with that. And, I kind of agree with her disagreement. I do think it kind of comes down to the individual. Kind of comes down to what you say. And I have a kind of best of both worlds scenario in my life. Whereas, I think my mother kind of hates herself. My mother's one of those that, remains depressed. Little things can send her into a downward spiral. She doesn't really... Something goes wrong, it's more of the attitude of, well, it figures that was going to happen to me. I got the black bird of depression on my shoulder. And then you look at my father where, if there is any person in this world that my father loves, and that's himself. My father loves himself. And I don't... He thinks that everybody else is the problem. He's more than happy to point out what you're doing wrong, but he is just fine in everything that he's doing, and it's always you and never him. And, you know, there's been a lot of people that I've ran into in my life that have thought the same thing. Even if they love him to death, they will still come out and say, oh yeah, I mean, it's, your father is out for one person and one person only, himself. That's why I call him himself. So, you know, I kind of, like I said, I had the best of both worlds in that situation. So I don't think that it's just kind of a low self-esteem thing that creates narcissists. Sometimes narcissists just have themselves so high on a pedestal that they just cannot be touched. So good video and a good topic from Sue's journey. I definitely hit home. So I'm gonna kind of touch base on this real quick here. Gaslighting. And you know, before you know any of this stuff, before you do any kind of research into narcissism and all that, you have no idea that you're being gaslit. You have no idea what it is. You just think that it's just normal kind of behavior. And you know, every once in a while I'll mention something about gaslighting, but I've never really dedicated much time to just talking about that. I mean, hell, on this one here, I'm still really not. Kind of depends on how long I make this video run. But I really didn't have a full crystal clear definition of the gaslighting. I mean, I knew some examples. I can compare it to what I've been through, but I never really had a full concept on the many different ways and styles and everything that somebody can gaslight you. And you just have to be able to come to terms and accept that, you know, gaslighting can mean a lot of things, but its base definition is manipulating you. It's a manipulation tactic that can sometimes cause you to question your own sanity. As, you know, we all know, like the movie, was it the 1940s movie that was made, Gaslighting, where the guy was making subtle changes here and there to cause his wife to think that she was losing her sanity. And this is where that term comes from. We all know this. So, the reason I bring this up is that, you know, even up to just like a couple weeks ago, you know, the horizon broadened on my understanding. And, you know, I have all of you to thank for that, from watching your videos where you guys talk about it so much, and you know, you can finally put all the pieces together and be able to pinpoint it now. And, you know, I thought I knew before, but let me just give you a quick example here. And I really didn't understand this at first. Now I do. Let's talk about careers, ambitions, hope, dreams, things of that nature. Okay? I have always had an interest in cooking. Loved it. Loved being in front of the oven. Loved doing them things there. And as I've said before, you know, at my age, if I didn't have to start out as low man on the totem pole at something like that, you know, I would probably pursue a career as a chef. But, you know, as it is right now, I am nothing more than a home cook that enjoys it. It's a hobby. But when I was younger, I've expressed this interest. And when it came to like my father or my sister or, you know, even my grandmother, you know, when you say something like that, oh man, I love cooking. What do you know how to cook? What are you going to do? You going to make bologna pot roast? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to make a hot dog souffle? You can't cook trailer food. Or do you think people want to eat SpaghettiO surprise? Gaslighting. Because when that happens, you know, it starts to fill me with self-doubt. It starts to fill me this feeling that, you know what, you guys are right. I'll never be as good as you. I'll never be able to do normal and good things like you can because you're so much better than me. And you say something, what happens? More gaslighting. What's wrong? The little baby can't take a joke. You can't take a joke. Are you too sensitive? Gaslighting. Let's look at another thing. I had, and I was probably 19 years old, which would have been the perfect time for me to go to school for something like this. I had such an interest in the weather. Loved it. I would just, you know, sit and watch the Weather Channel like normal people sit and watch a sitcom. Like normal people were sitting around their TVs watching the Cosby Show and crap like that. I don't watch much TV now, so I'm kind of reaching for some kind of show. What's the show? The Grateful Dead, The Walking Dead. That like someone would watch The Walking Dead. I was watching the Weather Channel. I started going to the library and getting books on forecasting and things like that. I mean, I had a big interest. And, you know, with any time you have an interest in something, when you get around your family and your peers and the opportunity comes up to where you might be able to talk about something that you have interest in, I did that. Start saying, you know, about, hey, yeah, look, the formation of this cloud, this is what this, oh, wait, look at that, look, we got Bill Nye the Science Guy over here. Hey, look at Mr. Weatherman. Hey, what are you the Weatherman now? Yeah, you're right, that's a stupid idea. I'm not as good as you, so I may as well give up. What's wrong? The little baby can't take a joke? You can't take a joke? You're too sensitive? Gaslighting. And that's how it works. That's how it works. And that's just kind of just an example of one side of how it can be done. There's many other ways, you know. There's just subtle changes of events that happen. Oh, that didn't happen that way. You don't remember this correctly when you know damn well what happened. They're manipulating you. They are causing you to start to question your own sanity. Well, wait a minute. Did it happen that way? Did I see that right? It's gaslighting. Of course you've seen it right. Because this is more than likely something that has really affected you. This is significant in your life. The other person that did it to you, this isn't but a scratch on their ass. They're not thinking about this stuff because it didn't affect them in any negative way. This is why we have our memories the way our do. Our memories are sometimes like little recorders. We may not have every detail exact, but we got a damn good idea of what happened. And then somebody is going to sit there in front of you and tell you that it didn't happen that way. It's gaslighting. They're manipulating you. They know what happened. Once you start talking about it and those memories start triggering, they know damn well what they did. But they want to gaslight you over it. Just look at these text messages from my mom to my sister, or from my sister to my mother, where I am falsely portraying people's lives. She knows damn well what happened. She knows exactly what's happening, which, by the way, it's either her or my father. I gotta welcome them back to the channel. They keep coming and going. Guys, you don't have to keep subscribing and unsubscribing and stuff like that. I mean, I guess you have to, unless you want to leave me the old, which I've been starting to see that more. You know, which I don't, if it's somebody else, you know what I mean, that's perfectly fine, you know. Not everybody is going to agree with what everybody says. But for me, I guess I'm kind of having a hard time because it's from a pretty neutral standpoint. And it only seems to be happening to videos that are really talking about my father or my sister. So they're back. They're still watching, just like I've told you they would, because they just can't keep away. They have to know what I am saying. And let me tell you this, I don't give a rat's ass about what they're saying. I really don't. Whatever they want to tell people about me, whatever they want to write about me, I don't care. Because their opinions are insignificant to me. It's really, but it's kind of a form of gaslighting. It's like my sister gaslighting my mother, or gaslighting my mother on my behalf, or is that the way that would work? Gaslighting me through my mother, I guess. She knows damn well what happened. She went through it too. She used to cry on my fucking shoulder. She knows damn well, and this is why whenever you have conversations with these people, it's best for you to be able to record it if you can. Because they're going to gaslight you on it. They're going to gaslight you. I'll give you one more quick example here. This happens to be about a friend of my wife's, my friend of my wife's. And, you know, I guess her and her boyfriend, you know, might be kind of getting on some thin ice with each other. It's, you know, I guess a time thing. They're not really spending the kind of time that they need to together, and, you know, they're starting to kind of drift apart. And I'm not here to judge who's right, who's wrong, or anything like that. You know, and it kind of split up like that. You know, it's a sad thing to happen, but, you know, they're young. They got their whole lives ahead of themselves. So, you know, I hope they find what they're looking for, both of them. But, you know, there's just been some things here and there, and I'm not going to get into details on it because technically it's none of my business. But, you know, the girl has kind of taken up to playing a game. And she plays a game with some of her co-workers and things like that. And when she tells her boyfriend, hey, I'm going to go with this person and that person to play my game, oh, that's so stupid. That's such a waste of time. Why do you even waste your time with that kind of thing? And it kind of gets her to the point where she's just like, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that's kind of stupid. She enjoys playing that game. She doesn't know it, but she's being gaslit. He's gaslighting her. He's manipulating her. He don't want to spend time with her, but he damn sure doesn't want her to be able to spend any time with anybody else or doing the things that she likes to do. That's not right. That's not. But once we educate ourselves, we can prevent that kind of thing from happening to us in the future. And yeah, sometimes it does, you know, it can create some problems in present relationships because not everybody that gaslights you is doing it for purposes of manipulation. If that makes sense to you. Sometimes people do it just because it's the norm of society. a lot of people does that. A lot of people do it. The media does it to everybody. They manipulate you just like that. So, you know, if you call somebody out, hey, listen, you're gaslighting me, they might not know what the hell you're talking about. They're just doing what they think is normal. How normal people would have a conversation. And of course, to us, we know that that's not a normal way to have conversation. That's a destructive way to have a conversation. So, we know this. And sometimes you just can't. People just don't want to be educated. People don't care. People think that you're the one that's crazy. People think that you're the one that's being too sensitive. And here we are in that never-ending spiral. And one quick momism before I close this out. Coming up on my 30-minute mark. I think it says somewhere in the YouTube handbook that you should keep your videos 15 minutes or less. I don't like rules, so you know what? If I'm too long, just turn it off. But quick momism here. You know, my mother, she got out of the hospital. Took about 5 or 6 days before she started having problems again. So now she's back in the hospital. And you know, I called her up today just to see how she was doing. And you know, she starts telling me about one of my cousins. And telling me about how, you know, she thinks she's right because she's kind of a biblical forgive and forget kind of person. And I said to my mom, I said, well, Ma, is that what you believe? Well, you know, I guess it kind of sounds kind of nice. And I said, well, you know what, Mom? I said, to me, I think that there's no use in forgiving somebody that's not going to stop what behavior they're doing that needed forgiveness. And I said, and if you're just at that point where the one person doesn't think that they're doing anything wrong, but in your life that is destructive and you just can't agree, it's time to separate yourself and cut that person loose. Because you're never going to agree. But let me tell you, she didn't like that one very much because immediately she was like, oh, well, okay, well, let's just, you know, and she just started talking about something else. So I think my mother tried to manipulate me a little bit in the fashion of, well, your cousin forgives her mother, why won't you forgive me? Well, because you're still doing the same shitty stuff. Guys, thank you very much.